So the band our group is going to talk about today is called Rage Against the Machine, and the song is called Killing in the Name. So a quick bio on the band. It was formed in Los Angeles, California in 1991. The vocalist is Zach De La Rocha. The bassist, who is also a backup vocalist, is Tim Comerfold. The guitarist is Tom Borello, and the drummer is Brad Wilk. And there's a picture right there of them. And their music is categorized as rap metal, rap rock, funk metal, alternative metal, and new metal. And a quote that I saw about them is kind of interesting. They said that the music can be defined as fiercely polemical music which brewed sloganeering leftist rants against corporate America, cultural imperialism, and government oppression into a Molotov cocktail of punk rock, hip-hop, and thrash. So this is the band we're going to be talking about today, and the song, again, is called Killing in the Name.
The meaning behind the story. The meaning of this song has been debated a lot by many people, but the consensus among the majority is that the song follows the main theme of oppressive whites among the government. One of the most popular quotes from the song is, "Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses." I've seen some people say that they believe the quote is bore crosses and not burn crosses, and that they think the band is trying to say that some of these police officers are killing in the name of God, that they are trying to cleanse the human population of those who are not worthy or don't share the same beliefs. Although this is just a speculated topic, the real lyric is burn crosses, which refers to the KKK. Many cops at the time the song came out were racist, and that is what the lyric is really saying. There were members of the KKK who hated African Americans and were in the police force, using their prejudice against some innocent victims. The workforce's quote also implies that this problem could stretch beyond the police force and into public office and politicians. The lyric, "and now you do what they told you," hints more at the theme of corrupted police. Because it is saying we aren't meant to listen to the authority of the cops. We are all told to listen to them because they are the law and they're supposed to know what is right. We listen to them even though we know the cops are wrong. The quote, "Those who died are justified by wearing the badge." Because the cops are supposed to be the good guys, they can just use their badges as an excuse for all of their actions. They don't need a real reason for what they do because their authority is their justification. The quote, "They are the chosen whites," continues to show how they rule over everyone and they have free reign. It is a vicious cycle of corruption that continues because the current police only add more police officers that are like-minded to them.
My name is Connor Stevenson, and I'm a member of Group 12. And I'm going to be presenting the racism in the 1990s slide and also the Los Angeles riot slide. So to start, the racism in the 90s was pretty bad. And they go along with this song because of the specific lyric at the top here of the PowerPoint. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. To me, that sticks out right at the beginning because it just shows that the people are saying that the people that are running the workforces, the everyday Americans, are actually racist. And that's really scary to me. And racial polarization was peaking in the 90s, which basically just means that blacks and whites were really spread, and they did not agree on much. And this is part of a lot of the conflicts. And the negative stigma we thought we cured in the early 60s was alive and well, definitely coming into the end of the 20th century. It shows in the next couple slides with the Rodney King beating and the Los Angeles riots. Blacks didn't feel safe in the inner cities, and tragedies like the Rodney King things happened. So I'm going to let my other group members get back to it, and I'll be back to present the Los Angeles riot slide.
So there has been many songs written in order to show a political standpoint. An example that we did give was Rage Against the Machine with their Killing in the Name that was released after the Rodney King beating. On March 19, 1991, Rodney King was stopped by 4 police officers for speeding. It resulted in the 4 officers brutally beating Rodney King. This had marked the start of the image between police and race. After the police officers were acquitted of their crimes, many citizens believed that it was an unjust cause, due to the fact that the trial was moved to a white suburb in LA, and they believed that the results were biased since the jurors were predominantly white, with one Hispanic, one Asian, but no African Americans. After the trial was set, many riots began in LA. An example of this, with the link below, shows many riots that happened after the Rodney King beating trial.
Back to present the slide about the Los Angeles riots. As you learned in the previous slide, the Rodney King beating was a tragedy, and the police in Los Angeles got some serious blowback from it. In '92, the famous Los Angeles riot started, and they lasted 3 days, and it was all because of this Rodney King beating, which is really crazy to me. On May 1st of '92, President George Bush, the one that just passed away, ordered troops to Los Angeles to try to contain these riots. Unfortunately, the riots did kill 60 people. I'll pass it on to my other group members for the rest of the PowerPoint presentation.
So the use of repetition is pretty prevalent, obviously, throughout the song. The simplicity of the lyrics and the heavy use of repetition throughout the song really give the phrases it has a higher and deeper meaning. And this repetition allows the listeners to remember the importance of like a particular song lyric and like what it really means to them and what the context means behind all of this that's been going on in the 1990s and all the racial injustice. For example, it starts off by saying 4 times, some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. And, when it repeats each of those 4 times, it really makes you think, wait, burn crosses, that's like the Nazis, that's like white supremacy, that's really like really, really bad, obviously. And like it kind of, gets your attention more and more, kind of wakes you up. And that's what it really does throughout the whole song. And it's just kind of saying, through the workforces, there's people like that. And, it's drawing attention to the problem, and it also calls the audience to realize the injustice that's going on. It's obviously in the chorus when it talks about the, those who died are justified for wearing the badge. They're the chosen whites. You justify those that died. And that's pretty prevalent throughout the song too. It's about 4 times in each chorus. And it's obviously, the meanings are mentioned before in the presentation and afterwards too, but it really does mean like, by repetition of this, like, oh, wearing the badge, that's supposed to be, the police. That's, those who protect us, with true justice. But anyways, it kind of, by the repetition, it evokes your emotions about your anger, rage, and frustration towards the injustice and the system that's been going on. Also, in the last half of the song, the lyrics do call them to take action. It's all F you, I won't do what you tell me, 16 times in a row. That's like the last half of the song, and it's kind of saying, hey, I willingly, I'm choosing to willingly go against the system. I won't do what you tell me. I won't do what you tell me. And it kind of, like I said, like that really invokes the rage against the machine, and it really kind of says, I'm an individual who will stand up to the system, and I won't do what you tell me anymore. And like I said, it really prompts listeners to question the authority and do what they're told. And kind of evoke their own kind of freedom and true justice when faced a problem such as there was with racial injustices in the 1990s.
Towards today's relevance of Killing in the Name and Rage Against the Machine as a whole, the popularity is still increasing even after decades after its release. For example, Killing in the Name became the #1 single in the UK for Christmas of 2009, and that was kind of a while after that song was created, so that's really cool. Also, it's still being spread to this day, and many festivals will still play their songs in remixes. And I actually went to a show the day before Thanksgiving, and all of a sudden they started playing Rage Against the Machine. So I figured I would show this video as part of our presentation. But yeah, so that was pretty cool. It was cool that even after all this time, it's still being played, and I was actually able to witness that. A little bit more information on the band today. They broke up in 2000. The singer left. And the others in the band joined with Chris Cornell to create Soundgarden, which I had no idea, and I thought that was really cool. They reformed in 2011 and disbanded after 2016. However, in 2017 and 2018, they were nominated for induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.